Pricing psychology, how smart sellers use bridge pricing to attract more buyers and net more. Here's the big question. What's the best way to price your home so it sells fast, attracts the most buyers, and nets you the most money? Now, if you think it's that old $399,900 trick, think again. Buyers don't shop like that anymore. Using that strategy could actually shrink your audience. Today, I'm breaking down pricing psychology, why bridge pricing is a smarter move, and how it gets you in front of more buyers, and the traps to avoid so you don't end up chasing the market. And stick with me, because at the end, I'll share the number one mistake I see Richmond sellers make and how a simple pricing adjustment could put thousands of extra dollars in your pocket. Now let's start with the myth. $99,900 pricing. For decades, sellers were told to list at $399,900 instead of $400,000 because it looks cheaper. But here's the problem. Buyers don't shop like that anymore. They're not pulling a flyer out of the mailbox and thinking, ooh, $399,900 looks like a deal. They're using Zillow, Redfin, or Realtor.com and setting search filters. Those filters don't care about $399,900. They care about ranges, $350,000 to $400,000, $400,000 to $450,000. So if you price it $399,900, you only show up in one of those buckets. But price it at $400,000, the bridge, you show up in both. Everyone capped at $400,000 and everyone starting at $400,000. Double the buyers, double the traffic. Think about it. Buyers rarely say, show me homes at $413,275. They search in brackets, $300,000 to $350,000, $350,000 to $400,000, $400,000 to $450,000. Bridge pricing positions your home at the top of one bracket and the bottom of the next. Now, I had a seller in Mechanicsville list at $300,000 flat. They got buyers maxing at $300,000 and buyers starting at $300,000. Result? 14 showings the first weekend and multiple offers. Their neighbor, same model, listed at $299,900. Guess who they missed? Every buyer looking at $300,000 and up. Their house sat for 27 days. So pricing at the bridge isn't about tricking buyers. It's about meeting them where they shop. Now let's layer in psychology. 3 concepts. Anchoring. The first number buyers see sets their expectation. At $400,000, buyers anchor there. But here's the secret. They don't see it as more expensive than $399,900. They see it as the most affordable in my $400,000 to $450,000 search. Number 2 is urgency. Smart pricing creates FOMO. Buyers think, if I don't act fast, someone else will. That urgency is what drives multiple offers. The third is loss aversion. People fear losing a good deal more than they enjoy finding one. Bridge pricing makes your home look like a deal at the top of one range and the bottom of another. And nobody wants to miss that. I had a Midlothian seller at $450,000. They pulled in buyers from both $425,000 to $450,000 and $450,000 to $475,000. End result, 3 offers in 4 days. Final contract at $462,000. That's not a coincidence. That's psychology at work. Now some sellers say, but Don, won't $400,000 look more expensive than $399,900? Well, here's my answer. Buyers aren't fooled by a dollar. They're smarter than that. What they care about is, does it fit my budget filter? Does it look competitive in this range? Will other buyers want it? And that last one, competition is key. Another common objective, let's start at $415,000 and drop later if we have to. Well, here's the problem. Now you're in no man's land. Too high for that $400,000 to $425,000 group, not competitive in the $425,000 to $450,000 range. You've cut your buyer pool in half. And after 2 weeks on the market, buyers assume something's wrong. Now, when you drop the price, they don't come back excited. They come back smelling blood. A Chesterfield seller listed at $415,000. Crickets. After 2 drops, it finally sold at $395,000. Now, had they launched at $400,000, it likely would have sold fast and strong. Pricing high and hoping, it's like fishing without bait. Sure, you've got a line in the water, but don't expect dinner. Now let me give you 3 more Richmond examples, because this is where the proof lives. In Henrico, a seller listed at $300,000, 12 showings, 4 offers, sold at $308,000. Neighbor listed at $299,900, got 2 showings in 3 weeks. Now Short Pump seller listed at $500,000, showed up in both the 475 to 500 and 500 to 525 searches, 9 offers in 1 weekend, sold at $521,000. Now on the Fan, a seller listed at $700,000 even. It attracted both the 650 to 700 shoppers and the 700 to 750 buyers. Sold $28,000 over asking in just 6 days. So the pattern's clear. Bridge pricing creates bigger pools, more urgency, and stronger outcomes. So here's the recap. The old X99 900 pricing, it's outdated. Buyers searching brackets, not exact numbers. Bridge pricing positions your home at the top of one and the bottom of the next. Anchoring, urgency, and loss aversion kick in. More eyes equals more showings, equals more offers, equals better net. Now, if you want to sell fast and maximize your return, don't guess. Use strategy, use psychology, and yes, use a local expert who knows exactly where to position your home. Now, if you're even thinking about selling in Richmond, let's talk early. I'll walk you through where your home fits in the buyer brackets and how we can position you for the strongest launch possible. And don't miss next week's video, the sneaky things buyers notice first in Richmond homes that sellers always overlook. Some of these are so small you'll be shocked they matter, but trust me, buyers see them. Now hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and tell me in the comments, which pricing strategy do you believe works better? $399,900 or $400,000 flat? I'll share my thoughts personally. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.